Genesis chapter 24. And Abraham was old, going on in days, and Jehovah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his slave, oldest in his house, the one who governed in all that was to him, please put your hand under my thigh, and I will cause you to swear by Jehovah, God of the heavens and God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite, among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son, for Isaac. And the slave said to him, perhaps the woman will not be willing to go after me to this land. Shall I indeed bring back your son into the land from where you came out? And Abraham said to him, take heed for yourself, that you do not take my son back there. Jehovah, God of heaven, who took me from the house of my father, and from the land of my birth, and who spoke to me, and who swore to me, saying, I will give this land to your seed. He shall send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife from there for my son. And if the woman will not be willing to go after you, then you shall be clear from this my oath. Only do not take back there my son. And the slave put his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham, and swore to him concerning this thing. And the slave took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and he left. And all the good of his master were in his hand. And he rose up and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. And he made the camels kneel outside the city, by a well of water at the time of the evening, the time that women go out to draw. And he said, Jehovah, God of my master Abraham, I beg you, cause her to meet before me this day, and to show kindness to my master Abraham. Lo, I am standing by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. And let the girl to whom I shall speak this, please let down your pitcher, that I may drink, and she will say, drink, and also I will water your camels. Let it be her you have designed for your servant for Isaac. And by this I shall know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah, Rivkah, came out, she who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, with her pitcher on her neck. And the girl was very good of form, a virgin, a man not knowing her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the slave ran to meet her and said, please let me sip a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hurried and let down her pitcher on her hand, and gave drink to him. And she finished giving drink to him, and she said, I also will draw for your camels until they have finished drinking. And she hurried and emptied her pitcher into the trough. And she again ran to the well to draw, and drew for all his camels. And watching her, the man kept silent in order to know if Jehovah had blessed his way or not. And it happened when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a golden ring, its weighing 1/2 shekel, and 2 bracelets for her hands, then of gold their weighing. And he said, Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room for us to stay in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, both straw and fodder are plentiful with us, also a room to stay. And the man bowed and worshipped Jehovah. And he said, Blessed be Jehovah, God of my master Abraham, who has not left off his kindness and his truth with my master. I being in the way, Jehovah guided me to the house of the brother of my master. And the girl ran and told these things to the house of her mother. And Rebekah had a brother, his name being Laban. And Laban ran out to the man to the fountain. And when he saw the ring and the bracelets on the hand of his sister, and when he heard the words of his sister Rebekah, saying, So the man spoke to me, then he came to the man, and saw him standing by the camels at the fountain. And he said, Come in, blessed of Jehovah. Why are you standing outside? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. And the man came into the house, and he unloaded the camels, and gave straw and fodder to the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the feet of the men who were with him. And food was set before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my message. And he said, Speak. And he said, I am the slave of Abraham, and Jehovah has blessed my master much, and he is great, and he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and male slaves and slave girls, and camels and asses. And my master's wife bore a son to my master when she was old, and he has given to him all that is his. And my master caused me to swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite, in whose land I live. But you shall go to the house of my father, and to my family, and you shall take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not go after me. And he said to me, Jehovah, before whom I walk, will send his angel with you, and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son from my family, from my father's house. Then you shall be released from my oath when you have come to my family. And if they do not give one to you, then you shall be released from my oath. And today I came to the well, and I said, Jehovah, God of my master Abraham, if you will, I pray, prosper the way in which I am about to go. Behold, I stand at the well of water, and when the virgin comes out to draw water, and I say to her, Please let me drink a little water from your pitcher, and she says to me, Both you drink, and also I will draw for your camels, may she be the woman whom Jehovah has designed for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking within my heart, even behold, Rebekah was going out, her pitcher on her neck. And she went down to the well and drew. And I said to her, Please let me drink. And she hurried and let down her pitcher from her and said, Drink, and I also will water your camels. And I drank, and also she watered the camels. And I asked her, and I said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put the ring on her nose, and the bracelets on her hands. And I bowed, and worshipped Jehovah. And I blessed Jehovah, God of my master Abraham, who had guided me in the true way, to take for his son the daughter of the brother of my master. And now, if you are going to do kindness and truth with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, so that I may turn to the right or to the left. And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing has come from Jehovah. We are not able to speak to you good or evil. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of the son of your master, as Jehovah has spoken. And when the slave of Abraham heard their words, he bowed himself to the earth, to Jehovah. And the slave brought out vessels of silver and vessels of gold and garments, and he gave to Rebekah, and he gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. And they ate and drank, he and the men who were with him, and they stayed the night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away to my master. And her brother and her mother said, Let the girl stay with us, perhaps 10 days. Afterwards she may go. And he said to them, Do not delay me, for Jehovah has prospered my way. Send me away, that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the girl, and ask of her mouth. And they called Rebekah, and said to her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away their sister Rebekah, and her nurse, and Abraham's slave, and his men. And they blessed Rebekah, and said to her, Our sister, may you become myriads of thousands, and may your seed possess the gate of their haters. And Rebekah and her young woman rose up, and they rode on the camels, and went after the man. And the slave took Rebekah, and went. And Isaac had come from the gate of the well of the living one my beholder, and he was dwelling in the land of the Negev. And Isaac had gone out to meditate in the field as it turned evening. And he raised his eyes and looked, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted her eyes, and she saw Isaac, and she quickly dismounted from the camel. And she said to the slave, Who is this man walking in the field to meet us? And the slave said, It is my master. And she took the veil and covered herself. And the slave told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah. And he took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and he was comforted after his mother. Matthew chapter 24. And going out, Jesus left the temple, and his disciples came to show him the buildings of the temple. But Jesus said to them, Do you not see all these things? Truly, I say to you, there will not at all be left one stone on a stone, which in no way will not be thrown down. And as he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when will these things be? And what is the sign of your coming and the end of the age? And answering, Jesus said to them, See that not any leads you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will cause many to err. But you are going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. See, do not be disturbed. For all things must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will be raised against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and plagues and earthquakes against many places. But all these are a beginning of throes. They will deliver you up to affliction, and will kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, and they will deliver up one another, and will hate one another. And many false prophets will be raised, and will cause many to err. And because lawlessness shall have been multiplied, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end, that one will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the earth for a testimony to the nations, and then will come the end. Then, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, the one reading, let him understand. Then let those in Judea flee on the mountains. The one on the housetop, let him not come down to take anything out of his house. And the one in the field, let him not turn back to take his garment. But woe to the woman being with child, and to those suckling in those days. And pray that your flight will not be in winter, nor on a Sabbath. For there will be great affliction, such as has not happened from the beginning of the world until now, no, nor ever will be. And except those days were shortened, not any flesh would be saved. But on account of the elect, those days will be shortened. Then, if anyone says to you, Behold, here is the Christ, or here, do not believe, for false Christs and false prophets will rise up, and they will give great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect. Behold, I tell you beforehand. Then, if they say to you, Behold, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. Behold, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe. For as the lightning comes forth from the east and shines as far as the west, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. For wherever the dead body may be, there the eagles will be gathered. And immediately after the affliction of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give her light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the heavens. And then all the tribes of the land will wail, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and much glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the heavens to their ends. But learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branch becomes tender and puts out leaves, you know that the summer is near. So also you, when you see all these things, know that it is near, at the doors. Truly I say to you, in no way will this generation pass away until all these things have occurred. The heavens and the earth will pass away, but my words will never ever pass away. But as to that day and that hour, no one knows, neither the angels of heaven, except my Father only. But as the days of Noah, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as they were in the days before the flood, eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah went into the ark, and they did not know until the flood came and took all away. So also will be the coming of the Son of Man. At that time 2 will be out in the field, and 1 is taken away, and the 1 is left. 2 grinding at the mill, 1 is taken, and 1 is left. Watch then, for you do not know in what hour your Lord comes. But know this, that if the housemaster had known in what watch the thief comes, he would have watched, and not have allowed his house to be dug through. Because of this, you also be ready, for in that hour you think not the Son of Man comes. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord has set over his household, to give them the food in season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord shall find so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will set him over all his substance. But if that wicked servant says in his heart, my Lord delays to come, and begins to beat his fellow servants, and to eat and to drink with the drunkards, the Lord of that slave will come in a day in which he does not expect, and in an hour which he does not know, and will cut him in 2, and will appoint his portion with the hypocrites. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.